It is Stugotz and Company on a Friday. Just me and Mikey A right now. We're going to be joined by SportsCenter anchor, old friend of mine, Randy Scott, and old friend of Mikey A's as well. You produced his show at some point, didn't you? You produced Randy Scott at some point, didn't you?
I did. He was so good with his co-host that they were like, you know what? You two need a radio show just to keep the chemistry going.
Yes.
And they gave it to me.
Randy's outstanding. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. But the Jets played last night, Thursday Night Football, Mike. The Patriots win. The Patriots have now won 8 straight. I cannot believe 8 straight games, Mike. I cannot believe just how good this New England Patriot team is. I expected them to be good. I expected them to be this good 2 or 3 years from now, because this is Super Bowl contender type stuff. They are 9-2 in the AFC. They're a game and a half up on the Buffalo Bills. But Mike, I expected the Jets to be bad. What I didn't expect is the Patriots to be this good at 9-2. It's crazy.
It hurts me to my core as a Jets fan to say how good this Patriot team is. They found a new quarterback. He's not Tom Brady, doesn't have to be, but he is still probably top 5 in the league. And it hurts me to watch how good he is. And the worst part is I like him. I like Drake Maye. I don't want to like him, but I like him.
So wait, you like Drake Maye? I find myself liking him too, but he hasn't ripped my heart out yet. Brady did that several times. Did you like Tom Brady when you were watching Tom Brady rip your heart out twice a year?
I sports hated Tom Brady. I always respected Tom Brady. I always felt Tom Brady got a bad rap, but I mean, right. I hated him because he was wearing the jersey, not because I hated him.
Right. Do you envision a day where you're going to hate Drake Maye? Because I do, and it's going to be in about 4 months.
If he wins a Super Bowl, I'll hate him. If he wins a Super Bowl, I will hate him. Yes.
Yes. Of course, it'd be hard not to. It would be nothing against poor Drake Maye. I don't know why I'm calling him poor Drake Maye. He's about to become very, very rich. Okay. It is nothing about poor Drake Maye. It's really just about that team being good and being dominant again, where this will be the second time, at least in my lifetime, that the Patriots appear to be on one of these type runs where they have the coach, they have the quarterback, they have them in place, they have it for the next decade and a half, and the Jets are still searching every single year, still searching. So I won't hate Drake Maye. He will be a symbol for everything that I despise about the New York Jets.
It's really, really, really hard to win a Super Bowl, but it is not hard to be competent. And the Patriots have figured out how to be really competent, and the Jets have yet to figure out how to be a little competent.
I know. Are you jealous of them?
Easily. Absolutely. How could you not be?
Do you look at Vrabel and yearn? Like, what do you do?
I heard something.
Yes.
I heard something yesterday that he was legitimately, he wasn't using it the way Tyreek Hill was. He was legitimately considering the Jets' job until the Patriots threw their hat in the ring.
Well, and I think it's why the Patriots probably got... Who was the coach for the Patriots last year? What was his name? He was there for 1 year before Vrabel came in. He was the bridge coach.
It was the linebacker. The linebacker. Oh, man. I can't think of his... Mayo. Gerard Mayo.
It was Gerard Mayo, right? And I think that's why the Patriots, after only a season, got rid of Gerard Mayo, because their fear was, Bob Kraft's fear was, if we don't take Mike Vrabel right now, we're not getting Vrabel. And worse yet, he's going to go inside the division to our arch nemesis, the New York Jets, and the Jets shouldn't be anyone's nemesis. Everyone's had their way with the New York Jets, but he didn't want that. He didn't want, that's embarrassing to Robert Kraft, to have a former Patriot, okay? To have a former Patriot go to the New York Jets and take that head coaching job when the Patriots had an opportunity to get him. That would not have sat well with the New England fan base. And so Bob Kraft had to do what he had to do, whether you like it or not, get rid of Mayo and take Vrabel. Otherwise, Vrabel would be the head coach of the Jets. And by the way, the Jets would be no better today if Mike Vrabel was the head coach. I like him. He's a great head coach, but the Jets would still be lousy because Vrabel's not a good enough coach to overcome that stench.
Yeah, I mean, he also, though, wouldn't have chosen Justin Fields to be his quarterback. And watching that game yesterday, it is apparent to me that Justin Fields is just not an NFL quarterback. He's
Really?
just not.
So, like, should quit the NFL. I was thinking about quarterbacks that look like great wide receivers. If they played wide receiver, if they lined up, okay, at wide receiver, they got the towel hanging down and their arms are hanging down. I was thinking like Justin Fields. I'm serious. Quarterbacks who physically look like they would be better at wide receiver than they are at quarterback. I'm all in with Justin Fields, and I'm all in with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence probably consider playing wide receiver. I'm serious. He'd be better at it.
Come up with the new play, the quarterback screen, where one quarterback throws it to another, who then runs the screen.
I'm saying permanent change, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Like Trevor Lawrence, hey, we thought you were going to be better at quarterback. You're not.
You're not.
We're going to line you up outside and see how that goes. It's like Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill played wide receiver in college and then played quarterback in the NFL. I'm trying to think of other quarterbacks now that look like they would be good wide receivers.
I'm actually just laughing about the fact that Justin Fields would probably be the Jets' second best wide receiver right now if they made the change today.
Yes, with a chance to be the greatest of all time. Right. Put it on the poll. Trevor Lawrence, better quarterback or better wide receiver? He does. He looks like, think about Trevor Lawrence and how yoked he is in his arms. And like, just think about him lining up outside for the Jacksonville Jaguars and having someone other than Trevor Lawrence throwing him footballs. How about that?
Yeah. He got blanket coverage yesterday. He actually did one of those Philly specials, and he had a ball thrown to him, but it was good coverage. But
yes.
I could see it play. I could see him playing wide receiver, and I could see him being really good for the Jets as a wide receiver.
I'm trying to think of other quarterbacks who just physically, you know what I'm talking about, like the big, tall, strapping, the DK Metcalf. That's what Trevor Lawrence is. He really is. Now I'm trying to think like all time. Like I'm just trying to like Randall Cunningham. If he lined up at wide, he'd be great. Holy shit! Justin Fields would catch 150 balls. I'm not joking. A little double screen wide receiver. Justin Fields just taking the distance. You know,
Debo Fields.
Oh wow, wow. Huh. Oh my God, blew my mind. Who else? Who else, Mikey? Come on, think of one.
I see Joe Flacco pulling down a big, like just
really?
running those. You know what it is? I could just see him being so. He's just so big. I could just see him going up and getting a goal line fade. But I can't. Yes. I can't see him running routes. But I could just see him being like a tight end in the red zone.
Right. Yes. If you took all the Jets and Patriots quarterbacks, okay, all time, and you were to make a top 5 list of top 5, it'd be a weird top 5 list to make, okay? But if you were sitting around one day and, you took, 30 milligrams or 40 Valhalla, and you're just sitting there and going, Jets, Patriots, top 5 quarterbacks, all time for those combined organizations. I'm not certain. Now, people are going to say Namath, and I'm going to tell you Namath was the most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL. Terrible. He'd be a good wide receiver.
Agreed.
Yes. Yes. So I am wondering if there's a Jet quarterback that would fall inside the top 5 of those two combined teams. The obvious is Brady. Drake Maye is already in there. Bledsoe is probably in there. Tony Eason took the Patriots to a Super Bowl back in 1985. They lost to the Chicago Bears. And I'm not certain who we have. I mean, Richard Todd.
Can I take just 1998 Vinny Testaverde? Like if it's just that guy that one year, I think he cracks the top 5. After that, it's hard. Chad Pennington,
Ken O'Brien. Oh, Chad Pennington might be in there. Chad Pennington might be in there. Chad Pennington does not look like a wide receiver.
No, he does not. Doesn't run like one either.
He doesn't. He was playing the right position, Chad Pennington. Who was the quarterback we said earlier? There was a Patriot quarterback. Oh, man.
Oh.
Who was it? I was thinking of the Patriot quarterback that looks like he'd be a great wide receiver. Who?
Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam. But he was a great quarterback.
I know.
But this game has to be you're not that good at quarterback, so I'm shuffling you off to wide receiver. Although Cam Newton does look like he'd be the greatest wide receiver that's ever lived. But he was an NFL MVP. He went to a Super Bowl. He was great, Cam Newton.
I didn't realize that he had to be bad at quarterback in order to play it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
Listen, just not bad at quarterback. You just think they might be better at playing wide receiver. What a ridiculous conversation.
Ridiculous conversation we're having.
But it's fun. It is. Anyway, so the Patriots are you going to be surprised still? Because I will be. If the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl?
Not make it. No, I'd be surprised if they won it because of how good the NFC is. But right. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it.
Really?
Especially if Kansas City's out.
Man, it is interesting because you're going to have wild card teams that. So you're going to have these division winners. It's going to be Pittsburgh or Baltimore, in all likelihood, in the AFC North. You'll have the Patriots in the East. You'll have the Colts in the AFC South. And you'll have the Broncos, we'll see, probably, in the AFC West. There's still a lot of football to be played. But you're going to have so if you're just judging this thing, and I do, based on quarterback play, meaning you're going to have wild card teams who have infinitely better quarterbacks than the teams who are at home hosting playoff games who won their division. If Josh Allen is strolling into Foxborough to take on Drake Maye, you're more than likely going to bet on Josh Allen. If Joe Burrow, God forbid, gets healthy and the Bengals sneak in and he's strolling into, I don't know, let's say Indianapolis to take on Daniel Jones, you're probably going to take Joe Burrow. You're going to take Lamar Jackson over any of those guys, and you're going to take Mahomes strolling into Denver, which he has to do this weekend, and taking on Bo Nix and beating him, of course. Like, this is going to be a crazy playoff, man.
What is Josh Allen's sleep like the night before going to Foxborough to take on this Patriot team?
Like a baby.
Like a baby. I agree.
Drake Maye's rolling around, he's he can't get a solid hour in. He's got Josh Allen in his thoughts. Because the playoffs are a different animal. We know that Josh Allen has the experience, although you would like Josh Allen to be better in the playoffs and that team to be better in the playoffs. But if Drake Maye is playing his first playoff game, and that first playoff game is against Josh Allen strolling into the stadium, and he has to be strolling into the stadium, preferably whistling, okay? Whistling Dixie because he knows he's moving on to the next round of the playoffs. No one's going to think that Drake Maye is going to pull that off. Not even Drake Maye. Put it on the poll. Does Drake Maye think that Drake Maye can beat Josh Allen in his first playoff game? Like, I think he's thinking about it now. And Josh is just like, whoever we play, we play. It's fine.
It's fine. No big deal.
Mahomes, same thing. Whoever we play, wherever we play him, we'll play him. Big deal.
So would you be surprised if the Patriots got to the Super Bowl? You'd be surprised.
I would. Yeah, I would be. They could be the one seed in the AFC. But yes, I would. I would be surprised. It's so early. Listen, Vrabel's an experienced coach, never been to a Super Bowl. Drake Maye is my concern. Like, he's good, but playing those first couple of playoff games, that's daunting, especially if you're playing those games against Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or some combination of those guys. Like, if you have to win 2 games, and those 2 games, Mike, are against a combination of those 3 quarterbacks, it's tough for me to imagine that Drake Maye, even at home with home field advantage, that he is going to make it to the Super Bowl in his second season. I can't see that. It'd be crazy.
I can see it.
I
can see it. I can see it. I can see it just to hurt my feelings.
I know. Stugotz here. It's NBA Tip-Off Week, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. Listen, support the people that support this show, and no one has supported us more than our friends at FanDuel. So even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Again, Randy Scott is coming up in hour number 2. We'll bring in Taylor here. We'll update the polls. Mikey, do you think Taylor is more a Gary Streisky guy or a Randy Scott guy? I have him as a Streisky guy. You know what I'm saying?
Easily a Streisky guy. Taylor is easily a Streisky guy. It's a little more new school. It's a little for the younger demo. For the younger demo.
Yes. What do you think, Taylor?
So I'm a Levitard show with Stugotz OG. So there's no shot I'm turning on Randy Scott.
Right. Really? Is that how you do it? It's just based on the amount of appearances he's made on our show?
And Randy Scott follows me on Twitter, so.
Right. Okay. We're going to have Gary Streisky on next week, okay? So perhaps we'll be able to turn your fandom. What'd you think of the game last night, real quickly? Mikey A and I we stumbled into a funny conversation that I think Justin Fields would be a better wide receiver than he is quarterback in the NFL. Imagine that guy lining up out wide. And then we stumbled into Trevor Lawrence, who would also be a quarterback. It was basically a conversation. Quarterbacks who physically look like they would be great wide receivers. And Trevor Lawrence is certainly that guy.
It fits the theme that I was going to go with my takeaway from the game, because for the most part, yes, it was a one-score game late in that. The Jets really never felt like they were in that game.
Nope, they never do.
If you didn't have to catch the football, Adonai Mitchell would be one of the best receivers of all time.
Put that on the poll. However you just phrased it, put it on the poll, please. Okay?
Because he gets open like it's nobody's business. His releases off the line. Mm-hmm. He's coming in from the Sauce Gardner trade. He's only been with the Jets for like a week.
Yes.
It feels like he's picked up the playbook kind of fast.
Yeah.
He just can't catch the ball.
The playbook. Listen, the playbook is wing it. That's what it is. All right.
The playbook is run this play, but Justin Fields will still have the ball when the play is over. So then just keep running until he figures out, who he wants to throw the ball to.
It sucks to have a wide receiver who has all the tools except hands.
That's like Stugotz had a take early this morning. I think it was off air, where he said Justin Fields has moments where he sidesteps in the pocket and then he just throws a beautiful ball. It's incomplete, but he throws a beautiful ball. And I was wondering, does Justin Fields throw the best incompletion in the game?
Michael Penix. I mean, he'd like
between the two.
That's my other takeaway watching Jets Patriots, where I don't know how you could properly evaluate the job that Aaron Glenn's doing as a head coach with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Yeah, but he signed Justin Fields. He told Aaron Rodgers to leave, and he assigned Justin Fields to be his quarterback. I mean,
unconfirmed reports. These are all just New York people just talking up here. Apparently, Aaron Glenn said, if you want me to take the job, that's the guy you got to go get.
Wow.
About Justin Fields. Yep.
Fields, yes.
Fire him now.
Well, they're not, okay? He's going to be the coach for a long time because everyone else is fired. He's going to be there for a couple of more years, Aaron Glenn. You agree, right?
Of course he is.
How long is Justin Fields signed for, though? Like, is it 2 years?
Next year. Next year's the last year.
So do you think he said that because he was like, hey, this is the perfect, there's upside there. Perhaps we could turn him into a decent quarterback, but he's also a perfect bridge to whoever the new quarterback's going to be?
If that's how you evaluate talent, I don't need you as my head coach.
No, but he's the perfect guy if he's a stopgap for 2 years to the guy you ultimately want to be your quarterback. Justin Fields is fine. He doesn't win any games. I mean, we're good, right?
You got rid of Aaron Rodgers, Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, and you said, that's the guy that I need to build around. That's enough for me.
I don't think he's trying to build around him. I think he's trying to create a bridge, and a bridge that doesn't win very much. That's it. He's like, that's all he's trying to do is get to the new quarterback. And if you bring Aaron back, you're just good enough to not make the playoffs, but also not get one of those quarterbacks.
There was one thing that Aaron Glenn couldn't account for in his plan taking over the Jets. He signs Justin Fields for 2 years. Like Stugotz said, he was a gap. They're looking at the 2026 quarterbacks. Let's draft one. Fields plays another year. Then that quarterback's ready to take over year 2. Yeah. The thing that he couldn't account for, that Arch Manning was going to be this bad.
Yeah. Yep. No question about it. You also have that rookie quarterback learning from Justin Fields.
And then what you want to do is pat the ball a little more. And then once the guy comes open, you want to hold the ball just a little bit longer.
But he looks so good doing it. I mean,
he threw a touchdown pass because the DB fell down, and he still almost threw it incomplete.
But he looked good.
Sure.
It was weird for Aaron Glenn to say they don't want to put Justin Fields in harm's way, treating him like a running back, when it's like, when you're watching this Jets team have success, the closest they come to having success, Justin Fields looks like a wildcat quarterback back there who's more in that running back type role.
Taylor, it's what I'm saying. I'm convinced Justin Fields is such a good athlete that I'm convinced if you played him at running back or wide receiver, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Second best wide receiver on the Jets right now, Justin Fields.
Are you sure he'd be second? Is it Garrett Hurt?
Wow. Okay.
He might be. And listen, second now, but perhaps in time, the greatest Jets wide receiver in the history of that organization. Better than Al Toon.
Move over Wayne Corbett.
Wesley Walker and Don Maynard. Top 5 Jet wide receivers. Johnny Lamb Jones.
Keyshawn.
Oh, my God. Key.
Santana Moss.
Lavernius Coles.
Yeah, Santana had his best days with Washington, didn't he?
Sure.
Lavernius Coles. Wow.
Traded for each other.
Yeah.
What a name. Taylor, are there other quarterbacks you could think of that would make for a good wide receiver? I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence would be better at wide receiver than he is at quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
I think there's a world where Bill Polian comes out and he says Lamar Jackson would be a better receiver than quarterback. Lamar plays wide receiver. Lamar, yes, he's an MVP candidate at quarterback. But what if Bill Polian might have been onto something and Lamar played wide receiver and then he goes on to have like one of the best careers possible? Bill Polian, maybe he wasn't saying Lamar would be a bad quarterback. He would just be a better receiver.
I was there for that, and what he was saying in a passive-aggressive way is that he's not a good quarterback, and Bill Polian's a jackass, but I understand your larger point. Lamar Jackson's played pretty well at that position. Unprecedented, I might say, at that position. He's won 2 or 3 MVPs. I
mean, just because Lamar Jackson was right about being a quarterback doesn't mean Bill Polian was wrong about him being a wide receiver. That's all he's saying.
He'd be a better,
correct.
Is he a slot guy? What is Lamar? Is he a slot wide receiver? He's too small, right? Like Trevor Lawrence, I have him out wide,
6'2", 205 is not small.
6'2" is not small.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But how tall is like Jamar Chase? Can you help me out with that? And also look up how many MVPs Lamar Jackson has won so we can make sure I got it right.
Jamar, 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson. Jamar Chase is 6 foot. So Lamar's taller than.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just
so
saying.
Would be great.
Just saying. Lamar was right, but that doesn't mean Polian was wrong.
Right. Josh Allen could be a good wide receiver. I mean,
yeah, he's kind of in that like new mold of tight ends where you just look at him and you're like, how is anybody supposed to guard a Rondé Gatson over there?
George Kittle and Josh Allen could be the same guy.
Put it on the poll. Could George Kittle and Josh Allen be the same guy? I think you guys are right. We all agree that Mahomes would not be a good wide receiver. He's fine just where he is, right?
Right. He runs funny.
Anthony Richardson. Ooh.
At this point, yeah. At this point, just try him out at a different position because it hasn't worked out at quarterback.
Not yet, although the Jets might trade for him. We'll see. Oh, boy. I'm trying to think because I thought Jamar Chase was taller. And I don't know what I'm doing here. Mm-hmm. I thought Jamar Chase was like 6'2", and Lamar Jackson was like 6 feet. But he's not. And so that's got me thinking like guys like, I don't know, Jalen Hurts, you know.
If you threw a wide receiver screen to Kyler Murray, is he taking it to the house?
Yes.
Just saying.
Little bubble screen, Kyler.
Little bubble screen.
How tall is Kyler Murray? If you tell me he's 6 feet tall, I'm leaving.
He's listed at 5'10". There's no way he's actually 5'10".
He's not 5'10". So he'd be a slot receiver, but the bubble screen, Kyler Murray.
Screen.
He'd be a better receiver than he is a quarterback. There's no question about it. Ridiculous. Cam Ward? I don't know if Cam Ward's good yet. We're 9 games in. Does anyone know?
To the polls?
We'll get to the polls. I'm stuck on. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to think of quarterbacks. I love quarterbacks. I wish we had one. We have a wide receiver playing quarterback. The greatest wide receiver in Jets history is playing quarterback. Taylor, put that on the polls. The greatest wide receiver in New York Jets history playing quarterback for them. Let's update the polls. It's been a fun week. Thank you to all our guests. Again, Randy Scott, friend of the show, is going to join. I miss Randy so much. I can't wait to speak to him. And I cannot believe that he has created a top 5 SportsCenter duo of all time for me. I thought the duo SportsCenter, they were done. Randy, Gary Streisky have brought it back. Gary Streisky going to be on the show next week because I already asked Randy Scott. So Taylor, let's update the polls here before we get to Randy in hour 2.
If you're a head football coach, can you address the team on a step stool?
No.
That was Mike McDaniel after their big win against Buffalo before they head to Spain. 75% of the audience said no.
Right.
You cannot do that.
You also can't celebrate that victory by driving a very fast car past the elbow room just to take out the Bills Mafia. You can't do that. Seriously, you're 3-7. Yeah.
Speaking of South Florida, Fernando Mendoza, you're from Miami. Start acting like it.
Yes.
76% of the audience said yes.
Yes. Didn't Izzy say that Bloomington was the Miami of the Midwest or something like that?
Somebody did say that, but it wasn't.
Someone said that. Yes. Yes. I'm certain whoever said it regrets saying it, but someone did say it. Yes.
Was it Bear?
Maybe it was. It was Bear. By the way, no Bear today. He told me, he said, hey, Fox, I have to do a camera shoot. And I responded, how dare you focus on the jobs that pay you? I mean,
really?
Was this week's game of the year Texans-Jaguars?
It was. Davis Mills. Yep.
52% of the audience said no.
Wow. They didn't watch the game. I mean,
they were not a fan of that game.
They had the Jags. I mean,
if you need a fake punt to beat Northwestern, should it count as a loss?
Yes.
It does.
90% of the audience said yes.
Gadget plays. Just run it down their throats. I mean,
should the Lakers honor Nico Harrison at their next home game?
Yep, that was your question. It's a good one. Yes, they should. Banner, everything.
93% of the audience said yes.
Yep. Luca said no. I think Luca's even saying yes. He's in a better place. The Lakers. Anyway.
Is Anchorage, Alaska the new Boca Raton?
Yep.
Yep.
Better for your joints.
Yes.
55% of the audience said yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were wrong. You and I, Taylor, were saying that cold weather, cold water
Mikey was
better for your. Mikey was too. You were disagreeing with us, Taylor?
I wasn't disagreeing. I was just confused with the line of thinking.
Right. Okay. So I, like Mikey A, thought that cold weather was better on the joints, on swelling, on the bones, on all of it. There's a reason it's called a cold plunge, right? I thought it was fairly obvious, and then it morphed into, I said that my response was, it's a cold plunge. A hot plunge is a jacuzzi. And then we morphed into, is Anchorage, Alaska the new Boca? And it is. 55% of the audience agrees. So I'm moving there.
In Miami, does the mayor give you a kilo to the city?
That was mine.
No.
This had to come back a resounding yes.
It is the record for this week so far. 96% of the audience said yes.
It's cocaine in the shape of a key. Low. Go ahead.
It's hard to take a team serious if you're counting on somebody named Simone Fontecchio.
Yep.
Heat. 83% of the audience said yes.
Is he the Utah Jazz? Is he with Utah?
I believe he's on the Miami Heat.
Oh, Fontecchio.
Yeah.
It's all right. You know, it's you got him confused. Salt Lake is the new Miami, South Beach.
Is Draymond Green a first ballot, right place, right time Hall of Famer?
No question about it. Yep.
80% of the audience said yes.
Yes. Someone was going to win those titles with Steph and Clay, and it just happened to be Draymond Green. It could have been any third guy. The Bulls proved that back in the 1990s when it went from Horace Grant to Dennis Rodman. Horace won 3, gone. Dennis Rodman in. He wins 3. Bye. They also did it with Steve Paxson and John Kerr. I'm sorry, with John Paxson and Steve Kerr. I'm dyslexic and I got their fucking first names wrong, and it's because I'm tired, and I'm tired of the Jets.
Is Susan Lucci the Michael Jordan of soap operas?
Hell yeah, she is.
Not even in question.
79% of the audience said yes.
Yep. The GOAT.
Was it a great run for the penny?
I mean,
Without question.
that's not without question.
That better come back, yes.
Show me a better run.
79% of the audience, again, said yes. 3 more polls here. What's a better title? Defensive coordinator? Director of defense?
Wow. So a DC or a DOD? A DOD.
73% of the audience said director of defense.
Yeah. Director helps. It does. It does.
Director of defense wears a military uniform. A coordinator is wearing a suit.
Put that on the poll. Does the director of defense wear a military outfit? Camouflage. I'm the director of defense. And you have to say defense.
Defense.
Does Drake Maye think that Drake Maye could beat Josh Allen in his first ever playoff game?
I wonder. I do wonder. Mikey A and I were talking about that earlier. That Josh Allen just strolls in, full 12 hours of sleep. He ain't sweating any of this shit. And Drake Maye hasn't slept in a month because he's thinking about it right now. He's thinking about that game against Josh Allen. What were the results there?
83% of the audience said yes. People are believing in Drake Maye, I think, and Drake Maye's
83% of the audience thinks that Drake Maye could beat Josh Allen in his first playoff game. Man, they are wrong. Drake Maye doesn't think that. Taylor, when you were playing at Carolina, Drake Maye was there, right?
No.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
Our quarterback was Mitch Trubisky.
Okay, so when you were watching Drake Maye as a Carolina fan, did you think he would turn into this? Like this quickly?
Yeah, he was amazing from the first time that he played for Carolina. I think what people knocked him for was saying, like, if Drake Maye's so good, why isn't Carolina a national title contender? Mm-hmm. Then you take Drake Maye off North Carolina's team and you see them and they're not even competitive against other teams. And it's like, oh, wait, Drake Maye was the reason Carolina was winning 8-9 games this season with him. But yeah, from the start, it was like him, Omarion Hampton, Josh Downs. Carolina has put some guys in the league recently.
They have, no question. Best linebacker of all time, Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, Peppers too. Carolina's had a decent run of putting guys into the end. Their college football program is lousy, but they have put a number of guys who have turned out to be great in the NFL. Drake Maye has me thinking about athletes that connote quarterbacks, really specifically, or athletes that connote a month of the year. June Jones.
I believe Stanford's defensive coordinator, Bobby April.
Oh, Bobby April. Don January. Look him up. Actually, look him up because I'm not certain if Don January exists. If there was an actual Bobby April is exceptional. Let's see. There's no December. There's no November.
Don January, golfer.
Yes. Don January. Is there a March? No. Mikey's thinking of them. He's actually
trying. I'm trying to think of somebody July.
How about August?
Augustus.
Yes. Who?
The kicker for Oregon. Augustus.
Okay, but it's not August. It connotes, though.
It does.
I'm sorry for sidetracking us. Continue with the polls, Taylor. This is what happens to my mind when the Jets play. When they played last night. And that's why my mind is fried. It's not the weed, it's the Jets. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. A right winger for Brighton Hove Albion in the Premier League. Sully March.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And then the final poll question.
So we have January covered, March covered, April covered, May covered, June covered. By next week, let's get them all covered. Okay. And Augusta.
Sure. Is this Jameis Winston's Super Bowl this Sunday?
Yep.
Resounding. 93% of the audience said yes. Those are the polls.
All right. Every start is his Super Bowl. Like, he has no idea when the next start is going to come. But he knows he has this week, and that makes it his Super Bowl, right? You guys agree with that? This is Jameis' Super. Is he showcasing anymore? Is Jameis going out there and thinking, "Hey, I'm playing for the other 31 teams. I want them to see I still got something"?
No. He's playing for the love of the game.
Stugotz here for my friends at Brunt. All right, I'll be honest. I don't work in construction. I'm not out there swinging a hammer or under the hood of a truck, but I've got a lot of friends who do. And they kept telling me about these Brunt workwear boots, so I grabbed a pair, the Marin, and now I get it. Even for me, just running around, doing yard work, walking the dog, whatever, these things are insanely comfortable. And what blew me away is how good they felt right out of the box. No break-in period, no blisters, no sore feet, just pure comfort and durability. Brent was started by somebody who grew up blue-collar and got tired of seeing big brands sell out. His friends told him the gear hadn't changed in 100 years, so he built something better and even named every product after the guys he grew up with. Whether you are on the job site or just need a pair of boots that can handle anything, Brent's got you covered. Brent was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use code Stugotz at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code Stugotz, all capitalized, STUGOTZ, and you are good to go. And after your order, they'll ask, where you heard about Brunt? Do us a favor and tell them it was from this show. Mikey A, I am very excited for our next guest. He is a good friend. I miss him dearly. There was no one more supportive of me, our show, when we were at ESPN than Randy Scott, who was going to join us. And he has really pulled off what I believe to be the impossible in sports media in 2025. Because if you remember growing up, there was these SportsCenter duos growing up, and they were great. I think it was Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. It was Stuart Scott and Dan Patrick for a while. There were just some great combinations. Craig Kilborn and Haber, the late night edition of SportsCenter, an amazing pairing by those two. Neil Everett, Stan, what's
Verrett.
Stan's last name? I forget. Stan Verrett. Yes. But Randy Scott has been able to pull this off not once, but twice, and now doing it with Gary Streisky. There are a few things that make me happier than seeing Randy in all his glory Saturday morning headed into college game day doing SportsCenter with Gary. It's so cool to see, man.
He is. Is it just because Randy is so easy to get along with that he just becomes it? He almost has instant chemistry with everybody.
Yes.
That I could sit like he's one of those guys that you watch him and you just go, he's just enjoying it. He's just enjoying the fact that he gets to do this for a living.
He makes his co-host better, all of them. They make him better. I'm certain he would say that. But him and Gary, it's so interesting because like SportsCenter is just so much different nowadays. anchors turn over all the time. You don't know who they are. You're not familiar with their work. And I'm not saying they're not great. They're all great. It's a very hard job to do, and they're all very, very talented people. But they're not names that you know. Like when we were growing up, you knew the names. You knew who was hosting what sports center and at what time of day they were hosting that sports center.
It was appointment viewing. Like you had your people like, I like to watch the 11 o'clock or I like to watch the 7 o'clock or the morning one because it was the pairing that worked for you. It was the pairing that you liked to see, that you liked more than others.
Yes. And so it's interesting that he's been able, and I think you're right. It's just Randy's kind of way of being where he has now pulled it off twice, once with Nicole Briscoe, now with Gary Streisky. And this will speak to what kind of person Randy is. I asked him to do this last week, and he said he couldn't. And the reason he said he couldn't was because he had a parent helper shift.
True or false, Randy is a puppy dog.
Yes. There he is. He's in a car. Why are you in a car?
I left the school. I had to get good cell service outside of the school area. I'll be called a puppy dog though. I'll hang up and listen.
What goes into being, well, tell us, Randy, because there's no one in sports media I can see more doing this. Parent helper shift. What goes into that for you?
Guy, I don't know how it was for you guys during the pandemic, but for us, we didn't go back. So like that Friday in March, the week that, who was it? Gobert tested positive and the NBA shut down. That Friday over at the school, it was like the last helicopter out of Saigon. It was people throwing kids, take your kids, get out of here. We'll see you when we see you. And then we didn't go back until well into the school year, the following school year. Like it was still the fall, but it was kind of late into it. And the only way they would let everybody back is if they could space them out in school. For me, that meant, could you come help out at cafeteria stuff? Like we're going to separate the tables. Thinking back on it now, it's kind of crazy, but like, kids like lower their mask to take a bite of food, then bringing their mask back up. But they put them in the gym and they separated them out, and they had parents like fly down the aisles between them, slinging milk, slinging water, juice, if they bought lunches, all that stuff. And I did that. And, my mom was a flight attendant. It was like the family business, man. It felt like, oh yeah, I can do this. Like did that. And then they were like, hey, if you want to stick around, these kids then go outside and they play games, they play recess, but we're trying to keep them apart. We're trying to keep them apart outside. Right. But I was like, sure, I'll help with that. So I did that the rest of the school year. That spring, they were like, hey, we need help with the crossing guard situation at pickup because there's so many people weren't doing buses, it's all parents coming through. Sure. So I helped out with that. Then they were like, hey, if you want to come back next year, let us know. And it felt kind of offhand, but I took them up on it. because like, I also, I think Stu, I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but like, I got divorced at the outset of the pandemic, that first summer of 20. And so suddenly I'm seeing my kids half as often as I used to. So this idea of like, oh, I can still kind of be around them. They're at ages where they want to be around me. We're organizing games. And dude, I'm telling you, like knowing the people in their classes has been the best part. And not like making friends necessarily, but just knowing like if my son comes home and goes, man, this, Logan was being mean to me today. It's like, okay, is Logan a bad kid or is Logan just like having a bad day? Well, I'm around it enough to know like, no, Logan's pretty awesome. What was really going on, or know the parents that way or that sort of thing. What's been fun though. So it's gone from, that was 2021. No, that was 2020 when it started. So now it's full recess. I'm the recess coordinator, just 2 days a week. It was 3 when I had 3 weekdays off.
The RC.
And it's just, and I'm not one to get hung up on titles. It's unpaid, very much unpaid. But it's a lot of fun. And like, I've had one, my oldest is aged out. He's over in middle school. My daughter's in her last year there. She'll go to the middle school. So I've only got a couple years left, but it's fun. And then I'll see a parent or something on a soccer sideline or a baseball sideline, and they'll be like, hey, so, my son was talking about, Ryan's dad at recess and said that he's on TV. And I was like, oh, and I'll kind of like laugh, and he'll go, what are you like? It doesn't add up that I live outside of Boston, first of all, drive down to Connecticut, and then, that sort of thing. So it's always kind of a fun conversation. But yes, so that's from like 10:30 in the morning until about 1 p.m. But sometimes the older kids don't really need much help at recess, so I can peel out and talk to you guys.
Yes. Yeah. The older kids are fucking making fun of you, man. That's what's going on.
I'm
Yeah,
just
probably.
entering that. I'm just entering that age where my kids' friends are becoming important to like who they are. Like,
Yeah.
how do you steer them away from some of those kids? Because I had to be like, no, we're not doing it. No, that kid is not coming over. You're not going to that person's house. I know that.
That's just it. You stand in the way of it graduating from a school friend to an at-home ride bikes friend. If you put your foot down, and you probably see the same stuff I do. Like, I have to beware. I think I can say this. I have to beware of the kids who who have nothing but older siblings.
Right.
Like when it's the youngest kid, that kid grows up faster. It's like growing up in Florida. It's like growing up in California. Like everybody has a cool cousin from Florida who lights bottle rockets and rides a dirt bike, right? Or everybody has a cool cousin in California who smokes cigarettes before everybody else. Like the kids who only have older siblings. Case in point, my oldest was sitting on my couch watching a Celtics playoff game. This was 2 years ago, and the Celtics had 68 points. And his friend, my son was 11. His friend nudged him and goes, 1 point away, 1 point away. And it went so far over I was alternately happy that it went over my son's head and then alternately terrified, like, oh my God, we're entering into this like time where 69 means something, to these kids. And it's because that kid is the youngest of two and his oldest sibling is like, I don't know, a sophomore in high school or something, like when there's that age gap, Mike, that's what you gotta look out for.
I'm starting to think this is more about the other kids than it is spending time with your own kids. I mean, it feels like an inside job here. It really You have infiltrated his class. I mean,
the call is coming from inside the house. Yeah, a little bit. And I threaten it. So I threaten it now with my oldest is our school system up here does 3 years of middle school. When I grew up, it was just 2. But so he's in the middle year of middle school, and whenever he's like kind of acting up, I'm like, dude, I will help out. I was like, my core reform is active across the town. Like, I will help out at the middle school if you're not careful. Dad, I don't want you in the middle school. Come on. Oh, no. I thought I left you at the elementary school. That sort of thing. So it's fine.
The older they get, the less they want to spend time with you. You know that, right? So you're trying to get it all in now. That's what you're trying to do. Right?
Okay,
as much as you can, whenever you can.
Yeah. But you're road tripping with a college lacrosse team like they're the dead. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, yeah. But the other one who's at Syracuse wants nothing to do with me. Okay,
you want nothing to do with Syracuse, man. Yes. Syracuse is the CrossFit of collegiate programs, man. Right. Like, how do you know somebody went to Syracuse? Don't worry, they'll tell you. Like, it is academic veganism. Like they wear that stuff on their chest. They have their little gatherings. Like, you don't need it. You don't need any more than that.
Rachel was deciding between Northwestern and Syracuse, and she asked me, Dad, what do you think? Both places were offering her scholarships to play lacrosse there. And I said, listen, your sister got into Syracuse.
Yeah, there's a lowered bar, a guilty by association. God, you got a couple of underachievers, don't you? Good for you, man.
You are blowing I'm thinking of like my friend who goes to Syracuse. He's got an S tattoo on him. And I just
crazy.
never even, I'm like, oh my God, they're the CrossFit people.
They'll tell you. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I miss you and I love you so much, man. And I was telling Mikey right before you came on, there are a few things that make me smile more than seeing you and Gary do SportsCenter Saturday mornings headed into college game day. You have somehow in 2025 made a highlight show stand out, and it reminds me of some of the old ESPN duos. Like, how have you pulled this off, man? It is such a great show, and I'm so happy for you, buddy.
Thank you so much for saying that. He's such just a genuine dude. Like, what you see on the air is what you get. And I've always kind of hoped, and and I think that's what crosses through with you and with Dan and with anybody that's sort of been in your orbit is like, there's no like on air voice. There's no like, nice on air and then kicking puppies off air. We share the ball really well. I've done shows with anchors. I keep track. I've done at least one SportsCenter with 66 different people.
Wow.
In the course of, I've been there 13 years now. And some people share the ball and they invite you in on their highlights or tee you up, in your highlights when you're under video. Cause so much of the show is under video, and you got a face for radio and a voice for print. It's kind of how the producers stack the show, but he's such a good teammate in that way. And then dude, my drive down to work is 112 miles each way. And there are times during the winter, you stay in a hotel room or you go crash at Gary's place. Like I've stayed with him and his now fiance, like, and his dog homie, so many times. And he's so he's so creative off air. Like I trust him with like his TikTok following's crazy, Instagram following's crazy. And he's like, hey, trust me, let's try this. And it's gone from like dances and sounds to like reaching out to the Jonas Brothers or reaching out to Morgan Wallen or reaching out to Kenny Chesney or whoever it is. And we've like kind of developed like friendships with people like that. So like I give him a ton of credit. I've been really lucky because before him, I had Nicole Briscoe, and I really feel like she's, my sister.
Right.
Slightly older, very slightly older sister. But no, I think she's a ball buster and hilarious. And she was a great teammate as well. And she got kind of moved to nights. They just kind of told her, hey, you're going to nights. And that kind of broke up what we had. And to go from her to Gary has just been like, I've been so lucky. Now, the time slot leading into game day, that really helps.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
But it's also like, I just think if we make each other laugh, then someone out there is going to laugh. And that feels like a safe thing. Like, as long, you stay away from too much politics, you stay away from too much, like there's so much heavy stuff going around outside the walls, like just kind of keep it fun and keep it sports. And I think people have tapped into that a little bit.
It's got some radio show qualities to it. It does. It really does.
Man, thank you for saying that. I mean, because I know you mean it as a compliment. I think some people.
No, it is a compliment. There are benchmarks. There are things I look forward to. There are people not taking themselves very seriously. I love it, man.
Yeah. I mean, some people are like, God, you guys talk over each other too much. Or, it's just a constant joke with you. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, we've got to read like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with a 30-point triple-double, like, like it's the stock market crashing, like, of course it's going to be fun. Like, we're going to joke about it. And we also do. I mean, like I'm 43, he's 38, and like we still make like tongue-in-cheek jokes. Like it's been a real battle. Anytime Grady Dick makes the show from the Toronto Raptors, like we're looking at each other and being like, are you gonna break? Are you gonna break? I mean, like we kind of have that with hopefully. So okay, we've had shows where just the other day, post NFL show Monday morning, Paul Tagliabue dies, Lenny Wilkens dies, and the two gambling accusations on the pitchers in Cleveland. Right. And so one of those shows, we still have to be able to reach into the bag and have the club of like, are people going to take us seriously? Like, can we still do those serious things while still doing a rip of highlights where Justin Herbert throws for 3 touchdowns and I do, the Family Guy character and say, it's got some popsicles in the freezer, like, can I still... Can those two things can those two things coexist within the same 42 minutes of content? I don't, so far so good. Yeah,
with a good host, they can. Yep.
Yeah. We're trying. But like I had one of my great. Like I owe him a lot at ESPN for making me better and giving me chances. But he was also like I don't know how to put it. Like in a Family Guy verse, you call him like Buzz Killington, but he was always like, hey, think about this. Like, hold on a second. He was kind of the conscience. And we had something where there was like a decent NBA team who kept having trouble with the Hornets, and the Hornets were garbage as they have been. And there was a game where like the stat nugget was like the Hornets had won 6 straight against the Lakers or something crazy. And I said, man, the Lakers have more trouble with Hornets than Thomas J and My Girl. And and Gary was like, ooh, like that. Like Gary was like, whoa. And I said, what? He needs his glasses. And then we kept going. And as long as you don't dwell on it and because the highlight's going on, you just keep going. And I got a couple of tweets that were like, I caught that. That was savage. LOL, blah, blah, blah. But my boss at the time sent me an email that was like, that is a dead child. And that is not a joke. And I was like, it's a movie. And so we had this like tug of war back and forth. And so there exists a line somewhere out there, and I've probably towed it a few times, right, either intentionally or unintentionally, and it's still good to get reined back in.
My advice would be never think. Just don't think at all. Just let it fucking fly, man. And you do. Listen, anyone who knows you knows this format, the way you're doing SportsCenter with Gary, it brings out all the great qualities of Randy Scott. Your sense of humor. You like to perform. You're a fucking performer, Randy Scott. If you weren't doing this, I have you starring as a lead role in like a Broadway play, you know?
So I was in Greece in high school. I was Kaniki.
Oh, wow.
I got up
you were
there.
Kaniki? Wow.
I was Kaniki.
Wow.
And he sings Grease Lightning in the play. No, man,
Yes.
I mean, thank you for saying that. I think it's like, that's a very nice way of saying I don't really have a lot of marketable skills outside of, Gary will joke, he'll be like, you have the softest hands in the business. I'm like, I don't, man. I have calluses. Don't worry, Like
Right.
he grew up on some farm somewhere. But no, I think like, it's such a, I don't know how to put it, man. Like I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, you guys should do a podcast. I'm like, there's so many people who are so much better at podcasts than we are. It's just, you just want somebody to identify with like your point of view on things. Like how many people out there are, played some sports, but knew at a young age that they were not going to play sports professionally. Like, boom, hand up. How many people want to keep sports part of their lives? Hand up. How many people are juggling, multiple fantasy teams and fantasy drafts while trying to get their kids to bed? Yeah, that's me. Like there's an overlapping Venn diagram, I think, in this country that is like, in anywhere that's like devoid of politics, devoid of just like, how do you get through your day taking care of the three little people that rely on you and keep the lights on with your job and somehow keep sports part of it, and like while maintaining your sanity and having fun, and like it's all supposed to be fun. So as long as you don't make yourself, where I worry sometimes is like, are Gary and I making it about Gary and me, or are we still kind of like teeing up and serving up the show? I think we've struck that balance, but it's been really like just a fun. I mean, it's 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in February, and that's rare. It's rare to get paired up that long,
Yeah, I'm watching it because of your dynamic and your relationship. I mean, I've already seen the highlights. I like the two of you together, and therefore it feels like a show to me. It's unlike any other SportsCenter that's on right now. I'm wondering, of the 66 people you have co-hosted SportsCenter with, which is the one that made you the most nervous?
Kenny Mayne.
Why? Yeah. Just because he's a legend?
Legend. Right. So smart, so quick, so dry. And we were doing a split show. So I was in Bristol and he was in LA. And I worried that like I wouldn't be able to keep up, period, but also keep up with somebody who I'm not like sitting next to. And like sometimes there are like nonverbal cues, like, you rap, or you do this, or I got something for that, that sort of thing. And I couldn't see him. But his idea to start the show was a cold open where he's talking off camera and been like, who am I doing the show with today? And they're like, Randy Scott. And he's like, I don't know. Who am I really doing the show with? I don't know who that is. Like that. and then I kind of come in. I'm like, hey, Kenny, I'm so excited. And then he just code switches and is like, oh, I've been looking forward to this for a long time, And that was awesome. That was really, really fun.
What were your thoughts when you first met Gary?
So I worked at Nesson before coming to ESPN. I was at Nesson for almost 2 years, and then he was at Nesson. We never overlapped. I didn't like it. It didn't go me to him. It actually went me to L. Duncan to Gary. So L came to ESPN and was one of his biggest proponents. Was like, this guy's awesome. This guy's hilarious. You guys have a lot in common. I mean, this was like 2018. She was like, you guys have a lot in common. And I, living up here and watching Red Sox games because they're on, I knew of him because he was like the sideline guy. And I saw a guy and I was like, man, this guy is super young and kind of a bro. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if like, really, I got stuff in common with this guy. And then met him, and before we ever did a show together, he shadowed, and I was like, this guy's awesome. He was making everybody laugh. His dad's a military guy. My dad's a military guy. And it just took being in like the same show pod with him for that pre-show time, I don't know, about 3 hours. And I was like, this is great. And then the first show we did, he was nervous, and I could tell he was nervous. So I was just trying to like kind of welcome him in, and almost like, hey, dude, like whatever you want to do, we can do it. And he had an idea the second show we did that wasn't like an entitlement sort of like over familiarity. It was like, hey, what if we tried this, or what if we did that? And way more of his swings have connected in big ways since then. And all of his ideas are like about, it's not like, hey, I have something for the show that's going to make me look good. You go do your thing. It's never been that. It's always been us together. So yeah, first impression, I was like, I was like, huh. And then I met him and I was like, oh, we're great. That's
Okay,
it.
so you
We're
knew
great.
right away you can make something special with this guy, right?
Yeah, but I was still doing shows with Nicole. So it was more just like he would fill in. And then Nicole called me, dude. I'm not trying to take this to like a serious spot, but it was 2021. It was December 1st. And that was the 5-year anniversary of my mom's passing. So I was down in Virginia. I was with my family outside DC, and I get this call from Nicole. And like, I'm sure you have this too. Like, if I were to call you, you might think something's wrong because you and I text. So anybody who like takes it like, hey, this guy never calls me. Why is this guy calling me?
Sure.
And Nicole and I didn't really talk on the phone. She would text. So she straight up called and she's like, I wanted you to hear from me. They're moving me to nights. I know what today is. I'm so sorry, but I just didn't want to risk you hearing it from somebody else. And I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. Thank you for letting me know, blah, blah, blah. But I hung up and I was super bummed because it wasn't like, hey, I'm leaving and they're putting you with Gary. It was just, hey, I'm leaving. So it was like open for a couple of days until I talked to
And you guys
one of
were
the
great
bosses.
together as well, by the way. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
she was, oh my God, dude, everything that happened in my life, like off air while she and I were paired up, she was such a rock for me. Like, oh, and so, then they told me about Gary and I was like, oh, thank God it's not going to be this like rotating group and we're going to try people out and da da da. They had a plan and it was him. So I was like, I didn't think it was going to be this necessarily. Like, I thought I could maybe one day grow into something, but I knew we'd at least be fine.
What'd you do to soothe Gary on that first show? Because like that has to be such a daunting. People don't realize that hosting like SportsCenter, Baseball Tonight, just how difficult it is. Like like, I love radio because I can't deal with all the cameras. It's dizzying, you know.
So, they brought back. I mean, it had to be a while ago. They brought back Keith Olbermann, and they brought back Dan, and they did a show together. This was when I was at ESPN. Yeah, and it was kind of like a throwback type of deal.
Yeah.
And they both said that the show is a lot faster now than it was when they did it. You know, there aren't 40-second on cams about the history of the Cleveland Kansas City baseball rivalry, and then you do a 2-minute highlight and then a 30-second score panel and throw to sound. You know, it's a lot. It moves a lot quicker. And so that first show for Gary that he did with me, it was fast. It was just a faster show. But he had done a show with Jay Harris, and he had a dependency on a pen. Like Gary was holding a pen, he was clicking the pen, he was tapping the pen, and Jay took the pen and threw it across the studio. No joke. Took it and threw it and said, now do the show. Like took his security blanket away and said, now do the show. And so Gary did it. And that had all happened before he and I had done a show together. So I think he'd gotten a lot of his nerves out of the way. But I just kept telling him, like, jump in on anything, any piece of video, anything I've got, because he can hear the roll cue for sound, like, sound in 5, 4, 3, 2. Like, he could hear all the same stuff, all the same traffic I could. So as long as you don't get clipped going to sound, like, we're totally fine. And we were.
Right. Yeah. That trust is so important. But doing the show the way you guys do it comes with some criticism, I would imagine, because people just want the fucking highlights, Randy. Like enough.
I know.
Like enough. Right. So what's the fairest criticism you've heard of your show, Gary?
Ooh, fairest criticism.
It's not the Hornets bit because that was awesome.
Oh, the Hornets bit is fantastic. Oh, the pregame speech is unbelievable. So good. All of it.
You know what? There were some criticisms of Fire 'Em Up on Saturdays for sure.
Oh, fuck them.
That it was like, man, none of this is fun. Like when you and I think you guys have taught me this too. We've all talked about it, where it's like, if you try to be funny, that's when you really run into like cringe territory sometimes. Like if it's clear that you are trying and not just kind of making an offhand observation or whatever, like you try to come up with a bit and try to, that's like when I used to hack in my day, it was like the joke is it's intentionally not funny. And that made it easy, because to try to come on and do actual stand up with you guys, that's wearing a meat suit to a shark and, Shark Tank. So like some of the feedback during Fire 'Em Up specifically was like, none of this, you guys are trying too hard. And that's true. It was a lift. It was a heavy, that's why we don't do it anymore. It's a heavy lift. We'd write it on Wednesday. It would go through how many rounds of approval, by some people until we had to tape it on Thursday, come in early to tape it because there was not a crew that wanted to stick around for our show. We were doing a 2 p.m. show at the time on Friday. So nobody wanted to stick around. So like, it was just it was a bear, and then we'd do it, and Saturday our mentions would be full of like just the worst. Like no one liked it, and then it goes away for this year, and we get these tweets and things that are like, "Hey, where's Fire 'em Up? Hey, we missed it," because
right, of course, that's going to happen. Yes, yes, right.
So people, I guess, like you said, people find things that they want to expect. They've relied upon like, hey, at this time you do top plays, at this time you do other stuff, and we took away the Fire 'em Up, and for better or for I promise you it was 90% negative feedback, and then it goes away and people are like, oh, what's going on? And we'll do one more this year. The Army Navy one is so much fun because his family's Army, my family's Navy, and like I just call it my dad, and my dad just gives me these like one-liner zingers about cadets and stuff, and we just throw those in there.
But I think people have a tendency to focus on the negative comments and not realize that the people who are enjoying what it is you do probably aren't commenting at all,
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you're right. It's the worst thing you can do is just go unnoticed,
Right. Yes.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
like medium is not acceptable. You gotta, if you're listening some feedback, it means A, they're watching, and B, they're feeling something, right? Feeling something about it.
Yes. I love that. I was listening to you on ESPN radio one day, and you invoked a $5 fine on somebody. And I love that you still take elements of our show that is now 4.5 years removed from ESPN radio, and you still incorporate it into what it is you do. Thank you, Randy.
Has it been that long? Okay. One thing that I realized, and I'll ask you, and maybe you're not the right person to ask, but did you guys do it as a way of like, kind of reminding people, that it's not okay to mess up, like you know what I mean, like without there being an overly like draconian, heavy-handed, like how dare you roll the out cue, or how dare you miss slot or miss time or whatever. It was more like, hey, here's a lighthearted way of saying like you kind of put me in a bad spot there, like like I talked way into the hard out, and you're the network break or whatever it is, and it's because like you didn't give me a roll cue, you didn't give me whatever it was, like so you can be like $5 fine, and it's a lighthearted like, hey, we're all joking, but seriously, like what the hell was that? Is there was there
That's
ever
exactly why we did that. Dan and I are this about us. Now it's funny coming from me, but Dan and I, when it comes to that and that show and the doing of radio, we're perfectionists. And so that was just a clever, fun way for us to point out that we're making mistakes, but also a way of telling our crew, don't make any mistakes. It's going to cost you money,
Yes, exactly. Okay, good. I was always curious about it, because you guys are still, and were then, even with all the constraints that ESPN Radio would have with like, time slot, and I mean, God, getting Greg Cody at the end of an hour was so much fun.
Yes.
But you guys still were this like just rolling downhill snowball of chaos, and $5 fine, $2 fine, walk into the ocean, whatever. Like all of that seemed like it was just part of the chaos. But I do wonder if it was also like one dad and the other dad reminding everybody else, like, I will turn this car around if you keep messing up.
Yes. It was, listen, it fed Dan's passive aggressive style. I mean, I'm not going to yell at you, but put $5 in the fucking bucket. Right?
Exactly.
You're going to be a groomsman at the wedding, at Gary's wedding. Is that right?
I got that. I found that out the other day. Yeah. Wow. He had joked, when he got engaged, and I've known Gary and his fiance Abby for years now. And they're so such a good match. They don't, neither one of them gossips. And I'm not trying to make myself sound like a gossip, but one thing that happens at ESPN, hey, you hear about so-and-so might be leaving their show, who's going to get that slot, or so-and-so might be doing this, or, hey, I heard, so-and-so's going on the road with whatever, or what's even this summer, with this 50 States in 50 Days project, hey, who got California? Who got this? Who got these desirable things? Who's going to the ESPYs? That sort of thing. And Gary just doesn't participate. It is both admirable and maddening because you spend so much time with somebody and you're like, hey, have you heard about X and X? Or hey, have you heard about this? If it affects us, we talk, he'll come to me and he'll be like, hey, have you heard, maybe we might be, taking on this Disney Plus thing. Have you heard about that? There'll be stuff like that. But both he and his fiance is in the business, and they're just like so peaceful and so happy together to not ever get in the muck with any of that stuff. And it's
that's how you get through it, man.
Oh man. Yes. So they're such a good match, and I'm offering no marital advice as the twice engaged, once divorced guy. So I will say to them, that like I just wanted to go. I just want to go to the wedding. And initially Gary's like, dude, you're going to officiate this thing. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. And then he surprised me the other day on the air by, sneaking a this just in script like into the show. And he goes, hey, yeah, he's in there in my ear. They're like, yeah, you got to read this. We got breaking news. And I was like, okay. And I've come to not trust the very last thing in the show because we'll do dumb stuff. And so I was kind of like hesitantly reading it. And I was like, this guy's trying to get me to cry on the air. I was like, I'm not gonna give him that. But I'm so excited. I'm so happy for him. And I also think like you reach an age where like this is probably my last groomsman opportunity, like all my friends are married or
got one more left in you. Look at you.
Yeah,
Yes.
And so that's why I said, I'm going to bring snacks. And he goes, it's a catered event. And I was like, well, hold on. I mean, because when that day starts and that morning starts and you're getting ready together, you're tying ties or whatever, you got some Cheez-Its, you got some Dots pretzels, some Celsius, some 5-Hour Energy. Like I've done it enough to where I know you need some stuff in that room.
Yes.
To avoid guys getting drunk too early and whatever. And, caffeinating to the gills. So I could not be happier. Could not be happier.
Grapes and orange slices.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. By the way, gossiping at ESPN, a daily tradition unlike any other. I mean, that's all that happens there. That's all that goes on there. Just quickly, I'm going to need your help here. I have done best man speeches for Field Yates. I have done them for several people at ESPN. And even though I'm not invited to Gary's wedding, I want to put together a best man speech for him, but I'm going to need your help because I don't know him at all. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have him on the show. I'm going to read him said speech. Okay?
Yes. Perfect. Okay. The wedding's in July. So we'll do that. Yeah. We'll come back on. Do you want me on with him or do you want to, I'll just pump you with some information and he comes on.
I think we'll have you on together, but you pump me with some information. And if you have a +1 and want to take me, I'm happy to come with you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have a +1 right now, but I'll work on it. All
right. I love the sports centers you guys are doing. It's fantastic content. I am proud of you. I'm happy for you. And I miss you very much, buddy. I do.
I miss you too, buddy. I love you. And I'm so happy for your family and for your daughters. And, you're making a lot of people proud. You know what I mean? A lot of people who are here and certainly someone who's not. And you and I have that in common. And if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. And I know that's a two-way street.
I appreciate you, man. I just wish I could make my wife proud. That's all.
All right. Good to see you too, Mike.
Thanks, bud.